Akeredolu canvasses more investments in renewable energy. Ondo citizens task judiciary on quick resolution of cases as 2022-2023 legal year commences. Ex-footballer in NDLEA net for trafficking 1.4 kilogram of cocaine. And from the foreign scene, Brazilians vote in most divisive presidential election in decades.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the news tonight. Uluwatoyin Omodara is my name. The Be More Initiative Empowerment, established to train young girls in Ondo State, has contributed about 25,000 words to the national grid to assuage the nation's need for power. Wife of Ondo State Governor Ayawa Akeredolu, who gave the hint at the annual general meeting of the Renewable Energy Stakeholders Conference in Lagos, maintained that 12 watts complete solar home system was given to each Be More girl during graduation. Government House correspondent Omoriola Ngbeji reports that the governor's wife was also honored for her contribution towards nation building.
Shows that Nigeria's power sector has suffered 8 total grid collapses between January and September 2022. Despite efforts of stakeholders to support government in addressing the situation, the country has continued to experience frequent collapses. Experts argued that power supply challenges have crippled the agricultural, industrial, and mining sectors and impede Nigeria's economic development. Hence, the resolve of the wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Ayawa Akeredolu, to contribute to the national grid through the girl child. Speaking at the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria's meeting, Mrs. Ayawa Akeredolu said Nigeria is vastly blessed with renewable energy resources such as solar, wind, biomass, and hydropower potentials, saying it is only reasonable that a country considers increased penetration of renewables into the energy supply mix as a logical and lasting solution. She noted that the standard of living of a given country can directly be related to the per capita energy consumption, and regretted, however, that between 60% to 70% of Nigerian population does not have access to electricity.
My girls, they go home with 12 watts. I multiply 12 watts, right? Almost 2,000. So do the math. They are close to 5,000.
While promising that at least 400 girls would always be added to the renewable energy space annually, the governor's wife pleaded with professionals to join Be More and give the girls space in the renewable world.
They are there. I have 2,000 of them. Please invest in these girls. Your son are raising awareness. This is already an army of renewable advocates at an age that is manual. Please, I want to see action, or you rather say action, right away after this conference. You already have it.
Receiving a special award of recognition for their outstanding contributions to the renewable energy sector and support for RIAN over the years, Mrs. Betty Ayawa Akeredolu promised to continue to give a head start to girl children in any given opportunity. Outgoing president of RIAN, Segun Adaju, appreciated Mrs. Akeredolu for her huge investment in the girl child development and for doing so much for the country through the Be More Empowered Girls Foundation. Meanwhile, the Be More technical coordinator, Basi Obeten, became head of partnership and program of Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria. Omoriola Ngbeji, Osrc News.
The Ondo State Judiciary has formally commenced the 2022-2023 legal year after weeks of vacation. The State Judiciary had earlier held the Jum'at service to officially kick off activities. The Thanksgiving service will also be held officially on Tuesday to mark the commencement of activities in the courts. According to a statement by the Chief Registrar Ondo State High Court, Mrs. Bolatito Ajibade, Christian faithful in Ondo State say they will continue.
The annual Covenant Renewal Day, which started in 2008, is an avenue to seek the face of God for the progress of the nation. The business of prayer was set in motion as different ministers of God across denominations led intercessory prayers for Nigeria, the church, and the youth. Another round of prayer was made for Ondo State, the governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, and his team, as well as the traditional institution. Delivering the message on the team, the Lord our refuge, Pastor Peter Abimbola, said God is almighty and his intervention supersedes human comprehension.
We have our home firmly rooted in God, who is our refuge and very present in times of trouble.
The CAN chairman, Ondo State chapter, Very Reverend Father Hasem Ologunwa, described the covenant renewal as one which would bring believers back to God.
The organizers of these and as the Christian
Evangelist Richard Useni, who took over the covenant renewal session, highlighted the benefits of covenant with God as the governor, leadership of the Christian community, traditional institution, youth of the Christian community.
Our founding fathers who fought for independence wanted a united Nigeria, and in this day, though tongues and tribes may differ, we must come together. Through our diversity should be our strength and not a day of weakness.
A symbolic prayer for a new Nigeria where peace, justice, and equity shall reign capped the session as the faithful reignited optimism for a better nation. Autobots Jim, Osrc News.
Let's go on a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll serve you more stories on the news. Please stay with us.
Hey, this kid, how are you guys? Farabale. 1,000. We go once play tire. Farabale now. Farabale now.
Madam, hello, brother, na 3,005. Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000. Oh yeah.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000. 10,000. 1,000 naira credit. Now you turn to 10,000. No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete.
On our Facebook, Osrc TV Ondo, and on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel, Osrc TV Ondo. Now to the rest of the bulletin. Graduates of the 2021-2022 academic set of St. Louis Girls Secondary School, Akure, have been commended for their performance in the last internal and external examinations, which has gone a long way to promote the academic growth of the school. Principal of the school, Mrs. Omobolale Ayintete, who gave the commendation at valedictory service for the outgone students held at the school premises, encouraged them to be resilient and continually strive for excellence in their academic pursuit. Osrc's Joseph Ekugbomire reports that no fewer than 384 students graduated from the class of 2022.
An exciting moment for the graduating students of St. Louis Girls Secondary School, Akure. We're glad that the journey of 6 years ended in joy and fulfillment. Dressed in their various elegant attires, the students as well as their parents and well-wishers gathered at the St. Louis Catholic Church for a church service where the priest, Reverend Father Clement Akimbolade, charged them to be wary of the company they keep and make God their companion.
I don't know the choice or how they came about the choice of today for their graduation ceremony. Whether it is divine providence or it is intelligent calculation, I do not know. But what I know is that it tallies with the celebration of the Archangel.
The event continued at the school auditorium, where outstanding students found worthy learning and character were presented with awards of excellence. Principal of the school, Mrs. Omobolanle Ayintete, who charged the graduates to be good ambassadors of the school, prayed God to continue to lead them aright in their life pursuits.
Whatever that they want to do in life, they should believe in God, that they should be prayerful. It's part of our anthem that we have no fear of the future. So they should not be detached about activities around. They should know that God is there, and as great graduates of great SLA, they know that sky is always the starting point.
Some of the graduates who lauded their teachers, and in particular the principal, for their effort in making them academically successful, appreciated God for giving them the grace to survive the hurdles of the last 6 years.
Today marks the end of 6 years journey in St. Louis Girls Grammar School for me, and it's indeed a big blessing to me.
If you want to enter St. Louis Girls Grammar School, you must be brilliant, you must study very hard. There are a lot of things to remember about this school. The principal, standards, and the academic levels. It was the best school in Ondo State. So the students, they are fascinating, they are wonderful, and shouts today, they are well trained.
Parents who could not hide their pride prayed God to give the students more wisdom and knowledge to scale through further academic journey.
As a parent, I'm happy that my girl is one of the celebrants.
That started with her, and they were either withdrawn or they were even dead by now. So I give glory to God for the privilege even to be able to see today.
High points of the event includes the presentation of gifts, cultural dance, drama, induction of the graduates into the St. Louis Old Girls Association, and a special Thanksgiving service. Joseph Ikubomire, Osrc News.
Amidst pomp and ceremony, Mrs. Ayo Adeyemo, General Manager of Ondo State Waste Management Authority, has bowed out of public service, a career which brought several accolades, was eulogized by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu and her professional colleagues at a ceremony held to celebrate her retirement and 60th birthday. Resources Zaid Arbisola has more.
With an uncommon tenacity, Iloluji-born Ayo Adeyemo executed the task of ensuring a safer environment free of deaths and proper waste management. Having joined the service of Ondo State Government in 2002, Adeyemo rose through the ranks to become the General Manager of the Ondo State Waste Management Authority in 2021. After 20 years worked in the service of the state, this symbolic setting of pen to paper marks a final official assignment and commencement of her retirement. To rejoice with her over the feat which coincides with her 60th birthday celebration held at the Pride of Zion Ministry, Ilekon Oda Road, were dignitaries from far and near, including Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who was represented by the Special Advisor on Union Matters and Special Duties, Dare Aragbaye.
I've been following activities in terms of radio programs, enlightenment programs. She was irrevocably committed to the cause of her job.
Also in attendance were members of the State Executive Council and professional colleagues across the 18 local government areas of the state, who extolled Mrs. Adeyemo for exhibiting rare qualities of forthrightness, dedication, and a love for the growth of others.
She's so committed, down to heart about the job. In fact, the governor of the state, Akeredolu, said, done the state a lot of good by appointing such a dedicated and loyal, committed general manager of waste management.
A woman I've known for some time now, and I've known her to be a very hard-working woman, a woman who dedicates herself totally into service.
I'm happy for her. For us in Waste Management Authority and Ondo State Government, she has really served well. She has done well.
Her husband, Former Ondo State Head of Service Adeniran Adeyemo said it was a delight to finally see her retire amidst encomium.
Now she will join me, and God will give her more grace to walk in his vineyard. I pray that just as it happens to Caleb in the Bible, that God should increase her strength.
I was born to know as a sanitarian, so it's really satisfying seeing her retiring today.
For Mrs. Ayo Adeyemo, scaling through the orders of service was possible with strict adherence to professionalism and God's dictates.
I give glory to God. Why? Because since I've been in this profession on government system, I have no regrets.
Adeyemo, who handed over to Mr. Adekunle Olajubu as acting general manager, is confident that the Ondo State Waste Management Authority will continue to execute its mandate with the crop of officers still in service. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
And to the foreign scene now, Brazilians are voting in an election which could see the country switch from a far-right to a left-wing lead. Opinion polls suggest former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has a comfortable lead over the incumbent Jair Bolsonaro. He has repeatedly told his supporters that if he loses, he may not accept the results.
I would like to see more schools, more hospitals, and for the candidate who wins to invest in the future of our children.
I don't think anyone will fix the situation in Brazil. Some receive more while others receive less. There is no healthcare, no education, and there is nothing left for the poor.
What is steering this polarization is a rhetoric from both sides that the other is a radical, with Lula saying that Bolsonaro represents the radical right, and Bolsonaro saying that Lula represents the threat of communism.
And to the sporting scene, more reactions have continued to trail the just concluded the election into the Executive Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, held in Benin, Edo State, following the emergence of Mr. Ibrahim Gusau as the new president of the soccer body in Nigeria. Football stakeholders stressed the need for the new leadership to get to work immediately in fixing the problems confronting the nation's football. The Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development in Ondo State, Mr. Bamidele Ologun, said the election of Mr. Sunday Dele Ajayi into the Executive Committee will further advance the game in the state. Our correspondent, Wahab Bakwale, has details.
All roads led to Benin City, Edo State, as football stakeholders gathered for the 78th Annual General Assembly and Elective Congress of the soccer body in Nigeria.
We have 13 persons prior to this time I'm speaking to you who were cleared to contest for the position of president.
The process climaxed when Mr. Ibrahim Gusau was elected the 35th president, while Mr. Sunday Dele Ajayi from Ondo State got the nod to represent the Southwest in the Executive Committee.
Hereby declare and return Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau as duly elected. And therefore the president-elect of the Ajayi and Majagodobeni are duly elected.
That I shall uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal of Nigeria and the NFF statutes. So help me God.
The new president, Mr. Gusau, promised to take the game to the next level of development, while former international Peter Said Ida, who lost in the second round of voting, alleged vote buying.
I don't want to have an administration whereby we'll be having a lot of infighting. So we just have to come to one table, sit down and tell ourselves the truth. And then for those that are ready to work with us genuinely, we'll see how we carry them along. And from there, we'll move on.
They tell you this person gave us 50,000, this person gave us 5,000. What do you have? And it just goes to show that if you don't have, not that I don't have, I have, but I don't have to induce anyone because I'm offering myself to do a job. And that's what I do think. I don't need to induce anyone to do a job that I'm qualified to do.
For Mr. Sunday Dele Ajayi, his emergence is a call to serve.
During my first tenure, I took 5 coaches from this state to national team, and a lot of us players to the national team, and some of stakeholders as committee members, and I hope I will do more.
The Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development in Ondo State, Mr. Bamidele Ologun, while congratulating the winners, especially Mr. Dele Ajayi, urged them to work in unity.
Transparent enough, we're all here, we saw everything. Well, he deserved what he got today, and I can only implore him to make sure he works with everybody. This life, you can't do it all alone, and you don't know it all.
Other individuals, while applauding the process of the election, urged the new leadership not to lose focus.
I look at a situation where they can